Welcome to ELH4X4 doing stuff. Today we're working on the 2003 Harley FATBOY 100-year anniversary. We had it in storage. The bike hasn't been on the road since 2023 because of that bike. But anyway, I got to do oil for the crankcase and the transmission. I don't have to worry about primary because it's open. And then we're going to clean the thing down, inspect the tires, go over a lot of the lube points, which, you know, pretty much it's the neck is really the main area that's greasable. Swing arm isn't really serviceable as far as greasing. And yeah, so we got to start with getting the battery changed. Large Phillips head for the seat screw. Put the seat off in an area where it's not going to get all scuffed up. Now with this bike, it has a Thunder Max with auto tune, so it has wideband O2 sensors, remap on the fly, this, that, and the other. The love jugs, because this bike, well, really all of them, the heads run super hot. And these things really do work. So we got to make sure that the fuse for the ECM is disconnected. Which is the upper one. Right as we're looking, standing over top of it, ECM's in that slot. Put that back. And then we'll use a 10mm to get the battery out. Might have to lift up on the battery a little bit to get access to the positive side. There we go. Make sure you don't have any wires pinched underneath. But what I did, you know, there's a sticker on the side of the battery that you can like pop out the numbers and stuff. But I just wrote when I bought the battery, right? Because for whatever reason, I don't get many seasons out of the battery. I don't really use this bike a lot either, so that contributes to the battery dying really quick. When I mean really quick, I mean like within 1 or 2 seasons. I also took a wire brush to the contact points. Okay. All right. Plug the ECM back in. And then we're going to fire the bike up, so watch your ears. This bike has compression release valves. Well, listen how loud that is. Anyway, I have a lifetime oil filter. It's like a Pure Power. Check the lights. We also got to service the air cleaner. All right, we just got it about like 130, 140. That should be good enough. I'm just trying to think where we should begin. Well, we'll get the engine oil out, but I got to get this bike up off the ground a little bit. The drain plug for the crankcase is part of the frame. You might be able to see a tube. I got a pointer. All right, right in here. And it goes down to the frame and underneath. See that? Right there is a drain plug for the crankcase or the oil tank. And then in between the shocks, right in this area, what are you guys looking? In between the shocks is the drain plug for the transmission. I'm gonna go grab my magnet. And we start with a reasonably clean catch pan. Can you guys kind of see what's going on here? Probably not. Anyway. There we go. That's it. So here's the back here. So basically what I'm saying is we got to kind of tilt the motorcycle over to get the oil out. So I'm going to bring it over a little bit. All right, so I put it up on a jack. So now we can move our attention to the transmission. There we go. Oh boy. Doing a little bit of rust prevention. GoPro stuff. I'm going to throw the drain plug back in. Get the oil pan out of the way a little bit. I'll be right back. All right. There we go. You know, just, I don't know if you can see that, but the gear oil is, I did this last year, right? So there's hardly any miles on it. So I'm, you know, basically wasting money, but at the same time, you know, might as well do it. All right, we can let that sit. We'll go over to the oil filter. Start by removing the crankshaft position sensor. So that's a wonderful design. And then we'll put that out of the way a little bit. All right, let's see if we're in frame here. All right, this is the messy part. All right, so we got our pan under here as good as possible. This filter's a cleanable. It uses stainless steel mesh, rare earth magnets. But anyway, it just spills all down the front of the crankcase and behind the voltage regulator. So try to do this just gradually. Okay. I think what I'm going to do also is get the bike off of the stand and then have it leaning. All right, I got you in frame as best as possible. So I don't necessarily have it off the stand, it's just more of an angle. Oh yeah, there you go. That don't matter. I was trying to do it all nice and slow, but it ended up leaking behind the voltage regulator anyway. So the filter itself just pulls off. Alright, so we'll head it down with some brake clean. You know, we probably should close the crank position sensor hole. But we're not. Just stay away from it. I don't know if they still make the, I'm sure they do. But, you know, the whole thing about the filter, you know, isn't saving money by not buying new filters. It's getting a far better filter. You know, and you would have to go to Pure Power. I'm not sponsored by them. I think they do military discounts, but I got this filter back in 2007. I think it was. Maybe 2005. I don't know. I've had it for probably about 20 years. But what makes the filter unique is it doesn't bypass at normal engine operating pressures. You know, like a stock filter will bypass way before it reaches its oil pressure. You know, at least that's what I was told. So, you know, pretty much your filter is in bypass mode under normal conditions, where this thing doesn't bypass at normal conditions. So you have to go to the website and look it up and see what the claim is all about. You know, they do military applications, you know, oil filters for the jet engines and stuff like that. Okay. All right. All right. GoPro, start recording. Must have been recording. Anyway, I'm going to hit the seat up with some Sam's upholstery cleaner. And there you go, that's ELH4X4 doing stuff. Taking a bike out of storage and getting it ready for a Gold Star Memorial ride. So thanks for watching ELH4X4 doing stuff. We'll see you at the next one.